Bismillah. Factorization and how to use factorization method of solving to solve the SAT question. Before we go to the factorization, all what we have to understand how we use the factorization. If you have a question for factorization, there is some steps before you go to the question. First step is to count the number of terms. And before the counting the number of terms, you should look about the highest common factor. For example, 3x power 5 minus 12x power 3 plus 6x power 2. We can notice that 3 and 12 and 6, the three terms here are all of them divisible by 3. So I can take 3 as highest common factor. And x power 5, x power 3, x power 2, so I'm taking x to the smallest power. And the smallest power here is x power 2. So after writing x power 2 or 3x power 2 outside the bracket, I'm opening a bracket. And then I start dividing. X power 5 divided x power 2 give me x power 3. 12 divided by 3 is give me 4. X power 3 divided x power 2 is give me x. And 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. I have 3 terms outside the highest common factor, outside the bracket. So I should have 3 terms inside the bracket. So if I have 3 terms outside the bracket, I should have 3 terms inside the bracket. So the first step that you are doing while you are solving factorization, before start any factorization, is the highest common factor. And a big percentage of the question in SAT is solved by using the highest common factor. Second thing is to count the number of terms. If you have 2 terms and the sign between them is negative, this is called difference of 2 squares. So difference of 2 squares is 2 terms only. The first term is a square, like x squared, or 4, or 16, because 4 is 2 by 2, 16 is 4 by 4. And the second term is y squared, or 16, or 25, 5 by 5. So this is called difference, because the sign should be negative, between 2 squares. And to solve the difference between 2 squares, all what I have to do is open 2 brackets. One of them is positive, and the other one is negative. One of them is positive, and the other one is negative. The first one, x squared, is x by x. So I write here x, and write here x. The second one is y squared. So I write here y, and I write there y. That's it. This is called difference of 2 squares. Another example. How many terms here? 2 terms. There is any highest common factor? No. Why? Because 4 and 9, both of them are not divisible by a common factor. X power 2 and y power 4, both of them, there is no common factor. So I make sure first that there is no common factor. I go and do the factorization. The factorize of 4 is 2 times 2. And the factorize of 9 is 3 by 3. Factorize of x squared is x times x. And factorize of 9 is 3 by 3. And notice that one of the brackets is positive and the other is negative. And it doesn't matter which one you start with. So notice in the first example, I start with the negative, but in the second example, I start with the positive. And it doesn't matter which one you are going to start with. But for the third example, if I wrote for you another example here, x squared or 2x squared minus 8. 2x squared minus 8, I can't say that it's a difference of 2 squares. Why? Because there isn't any number multiply itself give me 2, or there isn't any number multiply itself give me 8. So I should think of the highest common factor first. And the highest common factor between 2 and 8 is 2. Then I open bracket. X squared, 2x squared divided by 2 is x squared. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now, after I took the highest common factor, I can factorize this to difference of 2 squares. X minus 2 and x plus 2. Then, we'll go to the 4 terms before the 3 terms. If you count the number of terms and you found that there are 4 terms, this is called factorizing by grouping. Factorizing by grouping. And I mean by grouping that I'm going to collect each 2 terms together. I mean by grouping that I'm going to collect each 2 terms together. For example, ax plus ay minus bx minus by. So I'm going to collect the first two terms, ax and ay together, and take a as a highest common factor. And collect by and bx together and taking b as a highest common factor. But notice that if the sign is negative here, negative multiplied by positive is negative. So I changed the sign inside the bracket. And after taking the highest common factor, a and b, the bracket in both terms should be the same. It should be the same. Then I will take this bracket as a highest common factor, and the remainder of the first term is a, and the remainder of the second term is b. Again, so by grouping, collect the first two terms together, collect the second two terms together. Take the highest common factor of the two terms a, take the highest common factor of the two terms b. Then take a highest common factor as a bracket. The remainder here is a, and the remainder here is b. So I change it from factorize, which is adding and subtracting between terms, into multiplication. So factorization here is a change it from the situation of adding and subtracting expressions to multiplying two expressions. Now I have another example. X power 3 minus 5x squared minus 2x, or plus 2x minus 10. Minus what? Minus 10. And how to solve this one? I'm going to write the first two terms together. X power 3 minus 5x power 2 plus 2x minus 10. Notice that the sign here is positive. I didn't change anything. Then x power 3 and 5x power 2, I'm going to take x squared as highest common factor. The remainder is x minus 5. 2x minus 10, the highest common factor is 2. And the remainder is x minus 5. So I have the same term and the same bracket, x minus 5. So I write down one bracket, and then the remainder is x squared plus 2, x squared plus 2. So if it's 4 terms, it's called factorizing by grouping. Factorizing by grouping. Now, let's go to how to factorize the trinomial. And I mean by trinomial 3 terms. And most of the questions will be x squared. And you are going to solve this section or these questions in section 3. So you are going to need the factorization in section 3 without using calculator, so you can find the solution set of the equation. Sorry. The first one, the sign of the third term. As we can see, the sign of the third term here is positive. This sign is decide what is the sign inside the bracket and decide what I'm looking for. First, I'm looking for two numbers, their product is 6. I'm looking for two numbers, their product is 6. And I have two values. 1 by 6 is the first value, or 2 by 3. 1 by 6 or 2 by 3. Which one of them that their sum is equal to 5? Of course, 1 plus 6 here, their sum is equal to 7. But 2 plus 3, their sum is equal to 5. So I'm going to choose 2 by 3. Third step, I'm going to open two brackets. The both brackets take the sign of the middle. Sign of the middle is negative, so both bracket takes negative. And I can put 2 and 3 with no order. I can put the 3 here, 2 there, or 2 here and 3 there. It doesn't matter the order here. So if the last sign is positive, I'm looking for two numbers. The product equal to the last number, and their sum equal to the middle number. And both terms take the sign of the middle. Both terms take the sign of the middle term, So again, last sign is positive. Two brackets, both of them are following the sign of the middle. I'm looking for two numbers, their product 6, and the sum is 5. What if the last sign is negative? In this case, I'm looking for two numbers. The product is 6, like 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Their product is 6, but the difference between them is not equal to 5. Here, I'm looking for the difference. So if the last sign is positive, I'm looking for the sum. But if the last sign is negative, I'm looking for the difference. So I'm going to choose 6 and 1. And here, you gotta be patient. You gotta put the greatest, which is 6, with the sign of the middle. If the sign of the middle is positive and 6 is the greatest number, I put it with positive. And the other number I put is with negative. So in case of negative, it's 2 brackets. One is positive and the other is negative. One is positive and the other is negative. And the greatest number of the difference takes the sign of the middle. Find two numbers, their product equal to the last term, and the difference equal to the middle. The big number or the largest number takes the sign of the middle. Take the sign of the middle. I changed the value of the middle here. Again, two numbers, the product is 6 and 1. But 6 in this case will take the sign of negative. Why? Because the middle sign here is negative. The middle sign here is negative. This is how to factorize a trinomial, but when the coefficient of x squared is 1. Notice that the 3 examples I solved right now, the coefficient here was 1. Factorize each of the following. The first example here is 4x squared plus 20x. And the first step you need to do for factorization is the highest common factor. 4 and 20, both of them divisible by 4. X power 2 and x power 1, the smallest is x power 1. So it's 4x. Divide, give you x plus 5. For the second one, 18, 12, and 6, the highest common factor is 6. X power 2, x power 3, x power 5, the smallest power is x power 2. Then I divide it. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Subtract the power. 5 minus 2 is 3, so x power 3. Minus 12 divided by 6 is 2. Subtract the power, so it's x. Plus 6 divided by 6 is 1. X squared divided by x squared is 1. Notice that I have 3 terms outside and I have 3 terms inside here. And this is x power 3. I'm not going to factorize more. For question number 3, the first step I'm going to write is looking for the highest common factor. X squared and 9, there is no highest common factor. So second thing, I'm going to count the number of terms. There are 2 terms and the sign between them minus. So it's a difference of 2 squares. One of them is plus and the other one is negative. So x and x, 3 and 3. That's it. For number 4, 25x squared minus 16. 25 and 16, there is no highest common factor. And 25 is 5 by 5. And the x squared is x by x. And 16 is 4 by 4. So now it's a difference of 2 squares. Open 2 brackets. One of them is negative and the other is positive. 25 is 5 multiplied by 5. 5 multiplied by 5. And x squared is x multiplied by x. Sorry, I did a mistake here. 16 is 4 times 4, is 4 times 4. So the final answer is 5x minus 4 and 5x plus 4. For number 5, I'm going to follow the steps. Highest common factor, 3 and 27. The highest common factor is 3. X power 4, y power 2, there is no highest common factor. So I'm going to open bracket. 3x power 4 divided by 3 is x to the power of 4. Minus 27 divided by 3 is 9. And y squared. This bracket is difference of 2 squares. So x squared minus 3y and x squared plus 3y. Why? Because 9 is 3 by 3. Y squared, y times y. X power 4 is x squared times x squared. And notice that this one is not a difference of 2 squares. So I'm going to keep the answer like this. Number 6 and 7. As I can see, it's a trinomial and the coefficient here is 1. There is a big difference between trinomial. The coefficient of x squared is not 1 and the coefficient of x squared is 1. Since the last sign is positive, I'm going to open two brackets, and both of the brackets going to take the sign of the middle, plus and plus.
2 by 11 or
So
plus
x and x, two number, their product is 11. It's 1 and 11. So here is 1 and there 11. And it doesn't matter if you write the 11 here and the 1 there. Now, for the second one, number 7, last sign is always positive here. So I'm going to open two brackets, and both of them take the sign of the middle, negative and negative. Two number, their product is 24. I have 1 by 24, 2 by 12, 3 by 8, and 6 by 4. Which couple of numbers that their sum is equal to 11? I will figure it out that it's 3 and 8. So x and x, 3 and 8. And it doesn't matter where is the 3 and where is the 8. For solving trinomial, if the last sign is negative, for the first one, I'm going to open two brackets. One of them is positive and the other one is negative. X and x. Looking for two numbers, their product is 16. 1 by 16, 2 by 8, 4 by 4. Which one of them, the difference is 6? We can notice that it's 2 and 8. Now 8 will be written with the positive. Why? Take the sign of the middle. And 2 with the negative. For the second one, open two brackets. One is negative and the other is positive. And the order doesn't matter. Looking for two numbers, their product 56. 1 by 56, 2 by 28, 4, 7 by 8. Not to waste your time. The greatest one is 8. So take the sign of the middle. So in this case, I will put 8 here, and x, 7, and x. So notice in the first one, I add 8 to the positive sign because it's the greatest, but in the next one, I add 8 to the negative one. For question number 10, I'm going to start the first step with highest common factor. By taking 2x as a highest common factor, it's going to be x squared plus 7x plus 12. Then I'm going to open two brackets. Last sign is positive, so both of them like the middle, positive and positive, x and x. Two number, their product is 12 and the sum is 7. I think it's clear. It's a 3 and 4 because 3 by 4 is equal to 12 and 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Number 11. In number 11, I can see that it's negative, positive, negative, and the coefficient of x squared is negative. If you can't solve and the coefficient of x squared is negative, take negative as a highest common factor and change the sign of the three terms. So x squared minus 8x and plus 16. And this one can be factorized to x minus 4 and x minus 4. And also can be written as x minus 4 all to the power of 2 since it's the same bracket.